Hey guys, how's it going? It's Matt here. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to let you know a little bit behind the curtains of Restore and our staff, and a little bit of some changes that we're going to be making this year that I think might help orient you in your involvement with our worship and production team. We have traditionally had a January to December calendar, kind of our annual calendar, but are now shifting that to August to July, much like kind of a typical school calendar, just to help kind of orient some things a little bit better. So what that means is, we typically have, a good long end of winter, so January to spring of just consistent, attendance and ideas, and then summer hits and people kind of in and out, and then we kind of take a little bit of a step back. It's typically when we take sabbaticals. I took a sabbatical last year in June, July, somewhere in there. I've forgotten. Sonia has taken one this year from our kids ministry. Zach will take one next year in the summer. And then we kind of ramp back up again in the fall, which just makes perfect sense, because people are kind of settling into their normal routine of life, whether that be with families and students and, getting kids into school and all that. It's just kind of a natural rhythm that we have. So we're going to be following that now as a church, and, a little further behind the scenes with budgeting and figuring all that stuff out. But the biggest thing I think for you guys, for all of us to think about with this is we're going to start having goals, and I shouldn't say start having, we've always had goals, but we're going to be a little bit more clear about what our goals are, our timelines, what we want to accomplish, and how we're working to do that as a church. God has given us a very, very, very important, large mission with a lot of detail and ideas and perspectives to try to work out. And with that, I think needs some organization. And so one of the ways we want to organize is to kind of reorient our year and work a little bit better within everyone's natural time frames. So all that to say, at the end of this month begins, or I guess the end of mid-August, when kind of school starts, we're going to be kind of kicking off our next year, 2022-23. This will also include our year-long, it's not series, but our theme, which sneak peek is around wholeness and healing, which, I think in our post-COVID world, we could use quite a bit of, and will hopefully benefit dramatically from the fact that our church as a whole will be exploring this and working on this together. So very excited about that. Zach and CG and others have been working really hard on figuring out, okay, what does this look like, and what does our church really need? So very excited about that. And we're also going to be working hard this year at bringing our teams together, specifically with worship and production, spending more time together as we both kind of share this really critical space of putting on, so to speak, hosting our church's main big gathering, right? And some of us are on stage and, playing and talking and singing and yada, yada, yada. And others are behind, pushing buttons and faders and moving things around, critical components to make any of it work. As I think we're all very, very aware of how interconnected our teams are. I want us to feel that way relationally too, is that we know each other, that we want to support each other, especially as we're, 100 feet from one another, trying to communicate and trying to work together to put something on. So I think it's just crucial for us to love and respect each other and work towards wholeness together, and even depending on each other. I would love to have a time where, hey, look, someone can't make it late on a Saturday night or Sunday morning. Maybe someone from the band can come in and help fill the role if no one else can. And working together and seeing our roles as just so beautifully intertwined. So with that comes what I think would be really, really awesome is having monthly kind of all-team gatherings where we do fun things. We're TBD on what those fun things are. Right now we have a DIY sushi night, which sounds really fun. I still really, really, really want to cook a brisket for everybody. So, shoot me a text if that's your thing, because that's certainly my thing. I'd love to make that happen. And we're assembling a party planning committee, very office style. We'll have a lot of "It is your birthday" signs. I really want us to do that together, and I want to build that community who can kind of lead and host those things together. So if you're interested in that, if that like floats your boat, you want to see our team come together a little bit more this year and want to share some ideas and help pull it off, would love to have you at the table. It's not obviously a huge commitment, maybe a few text messages a week, or a little bit more to just kind of figure out some things that we can do to gather everybody together and do fun things. I'd love to see that grow, and I'd love to see all of us attend. I'd love to have a majority of our team together at these events where we can just share our lives. A lot of Sunday mornings is just so task-based, and I mean, thank God we have such a graceful community that can stop and have a conversation for a minute and not feel like we're behind or we're letting somebody down. But I think it still is limiting to how much community we can really have. So we want to start hosting these other gatherings very soon. The first one's going to be August, I'm thinking mid to late August. So be on the lookout for a date. We'll be contacting you about it, and would love for you to be a part of it. So that's thing number one. Thing number two is, what is thing number two? Oh, we're going to start scheduling a little bit differently now. We've kind of, I think right now the production team is kind of a little bit further ahead in this, but to be completely honest, I'm kind of manning this right now, so it's not working optimally. And that is scheduling in advance. The idea right now, the goal right now, the hope for our entire church volunteer teams is to schedule like a month in advance, so everybody knows way in advance what their responsibility is to their team and to each other and to their roles. So what that's going to look like is sometime in the middle of the month, we are going to let you know, hey, this is coming. Hop on Planning Center and schedule your blockout dates. And those are the days that you can't or don't want to serve. Everything else is open to be available, and then we can talk about like how many times you can serve. Some people I can only serve once a month. Some people are just let me know what you need and I'll be there. So we'll work on some of those things, but you're going to block out the dates that you can't do it. And if you can imagine, if everybody fills that out, we can then go in and schedule based on those. Who's out this week and this week? Oh, if there's kind of offset, bam, we could stick them in. And hopefully that works out really well, and everybody kind of gets their kind of like preferred times. And most importantly, this does two huge things that we really, really, really want to accomplish this year. One is to reduce the amount of last minute, hey, are you available this week? I totally firmly admit that I'm the first person who will text you on a Wednesday or Thursday, be like, yeah, you around this weekend? And I want to get away from that. I don't really like that, and I'm sure you don't. And I certainly don't mean any disrespect to anyone's time by doing that. But I think we can elevate everyone's respect for everyone's time by planning in advance. I know for some people that can be hard, but I really want to push us all to embrace this as a team, where we all work at looking in advance when we're available, and or probably even more so when we're not available, making sure that we have those blockout dates filled out on Planning Center so that we can go in and schedule. And the hope is that the maybe 2 weeks before, the last week of the month, you will get your entire month schedule for the following month. They'll hopefully minimize any last minute changes, maybe one or two that might change, 1 or 2 weeks or whatever, or people even, and make this all very crisp and easy to schedule. The other thing is, if you have last minute cancellation needs, we really would like for you to take the first kind of ownership of finding somebody to cover your spot. To make sure that we can kind of free up. I came from a team that was the deal. If you can't make it, we need your help finding somebody. And I think up to this point, of most of Restore's history, it's kind of been the opposite. It's like you kind of just let us know, we'll figure it out. I'll be honest, it is a huge burden, because if 2 or 3 people do that, we have to figure out a lot of different things, and then there's like a ripple effect from the weeks after of trying to figure out. So we would just so appreciate the help in managing all of our teams by you having that responsibility. Now, I'm sure you've all heard by now, Ashley Surratt has come on staff as our volunteer coordinator, who is kind of heading up all of the volunteer scheduling. She's becoming the pro presenter whiz queen and working on figuring out the best way to do scheduling and communication via that. So you'll hear from her primarily on scheduling here very soon. And the hope is that by the very end of this year, by December, she is really leading all of that. And, you're working directly with her on scheduling. All the other things on your team, changes, new equipment or new songs or whatever will come from me and the team just as a whole. But as far as scheduling and time commitments concerned, will come through her and through Planning Center. Okay, I've been talking a while. These are really important things to us, so thank you so much. I really mean it. Thank you for listening all the way through. It really means a lot that you care enough to listen to me and to what our church is embarking on. And thank you. Thank you for all that you do for our teams. It doesn't go unnoticed, and most especially, it doesn't go unnoticed to God. God is using you in His kingdom here and now through our message. And that's, if you're the person who just knows how to push one button or is barely learning how to play an instrument, wherever you are on the journey, God is using you here in our church. And I'm excited to see. And even as we look around, we already see so many people, so many new faces who are coming to experience the love of Jesus here in and through us. So thank you for being a part of that and for working with us. Okay, that's it. I know I can ramble, so that's it for me now. I love y'all. Take care, and we'll see you soon.